That's sort of.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for joining. It's the Hatch Customer Success team again.
How's everyone doing out there? Thanks for joining.
I'm Lauren Mecca, and you guys can introduce yourselves.
I'm Lauren Notar.
I'm Margaret Wright. Live from Virginia.
Live from Boston.
I'm in Virginia too, just not the same area of Virginia Margaret's in.
Not anymore. Okay, everybody. This is our second installment. We're going to keep doing these. The time might float around a little bit each week, but you can always come to the same URL and meet us here. So we'll communicate to you what the final time is going to be. Today's topic, we wanted to focus on how home improvement companies are going virtual. It's been so exciting to see everybody pivot so quickly and add new tools to their repertoire and just figure out how to move forward. And that's actually been really inspiring in this otherwise crazy time. So we wanted to share some of the wins and success stories and problem solving that we're learning from our customers. I'm going to kick it off and then I'll pass it over to Lauren, and Margaret will be here to answer questions as well. So be sure to comment live and type in, speak with each other, speak with us. We want this to be really interactive. So let me get started. All right. Virtual appointments came about. Really, they were possible and sometimes necessary before the COVID pandemic, but they weren't widespread. They weren't widely adopted. So the first week that things really started slowing down was only 3 weeks ago. It feels like longer, but when face-to-face appointments started to become discouraged in some markets, Hatch partnered with a company called Whereby, who has a free video tool that's really easy to spin up. And we're actually building an integration with. So in one click, you can send your customers your Whereby meeting room and meet them there on video. So we're going to share a few details about that today and some reactions and some conversations with consumers on how their home improvement projects have played out because of this Whereby tool and virtual appointments. But I wanted to make sure we also introduce some of the other means of doing your home improvement business virtually or digitally, because it's not just about the appointments, right? You guys have to think about measuring contracts, getting financial documents signed, all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to flip up a slide really quickly based on our research, these are really the best players to handle different pieces of bringing your business remote. I'm going to share my screen very fast.
And if anybody is using any tool that's different from what we're talking about or what Lauren's about to show on the screen, we would love to hear about it because we are always trying to learn what the industry is using.
So you'll see here for virtual appointments, Whereby is our top choice. It requires no installation on any device. It's friendly with any device, any browser. You simply send your contact a link, which can be done through email or text, and meet them there. And it happens in half a second. It's really amazing. There are many other options out there. I'm sure we've all heard of Zoom right now. They're kind of dominating with our remote work. But they can be a little more difficult, having a time limit on the free plan and some bugs, I think, and a kind of overwhelming volume of use right now. So that's why we're really favoring Whereby for our use and for our customers. A third option is WebEx. That's a little bit more corporate. It can handle big meetings, big long meetings, but that'll be closer to a Zoom experience than Whereby, which you can just spin up in 10 seconds. Now for measuring, Hover is a company that Hatch partners with, and they allow you to get really precise measurements. So you can place orders and quote accurately without having to go on site.
And for anybody that hasn't used Hover in the past, it's super easy. And it's just a couple pictures. And we all take about 1 million pictures a day on our phones. So
speaking of pictures, Company Cam does a really good job of visualizing projects and products digitally. So check them out as well.
Also super easy to use. There's a theme here.
Yeah.
There is a theme. I think that might be in Hatch too. Coming.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah. And then for estimating, a tool like Leap lets you upload your product SKUs and prices and communicate effectively about all of your products when you're working on orders with your customers. So are there any questions or comments coming in, guys?
I'm not seeing
Not
it.
yet. Okay.
Right yet. Not quiet right now.
All right, so everybody check out these tools, and also, of course, keep Hatch in mind, because whether you're in an office or remote, Hatch has mobile capabilities that a lot of sales reps are taking on right now as their day-to-day has changed with this virus. We're actually seeing an uptick in ways that you can use Hatch during this time. So really excited to keep sharing these observations and best practices in this forum, and also work with each of you one-on-one. To help you with any of these elements of taking your business digital.
Yes.
And the final thing I want to say before I hand off to Lauren is, I'm sharing. See my face now. Is that virtual appointments won't go away once things start to open back up. We are hearing from customers that they're going to find value long-term in spinning up virtual capabilities, because so often it's actually very hard to schedule with both partners or with the whole family, or even get one person to take the time off from work so you can meet them in their home during business hours. So I think it'll help a lot of deals move faster and get people together in the same room virtually. Whereas in the past, you might have had to wait, and that would affect your sales cycle. So don't let that happen anymore. Go virtual, and even when this pandemic is over, it'll work for your business. It'll help you close more deals.
Yep. And I wanted to go ahead and show you all some live messages in Hatch where customers were setting up those virtual appointments. So I'm going to just share my screen just so that, sharing. Okay. So that you can see it is so simple. Someone said, would 2 p.m. work for a virtual appointment? They said, yes, sounds good. The appointment will take about an hour to an hour and a half, depending on how many questions you have. I will send you your virtual link now in preparation for tomorrow. Please let me know if you do not see it come through. So it really is that simple. Don't be scared of it, because I know sometimes new things can be scary, but it is so easy, especially with that whereby, because all you're doing is sending people a link. So anybody can use it. Even the older folks can use it. And I know people are also using FaceTime too. If for some reason someone can't figure it out, you can always figure out a way to do virtual appointments. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing that work really well too. And I was also told recently that we have 500 virtual appointments set in Hatch this month. So we have that data and it's happening. So don't be scared. Mm-hmm. And I know too, with roofing, I heard people are using drones as well, which can turn virtual too. Mm-hmm. Work well. No one even has to be in your home. So working super well too. I know, Margaret, your husband.
We have a little roofing division. I can speak to that a little. Thanks, Lauren. So anybody in Richmond, if you want to, I'm just teasing. Now my husband does own a roofing company, and he has been using drone technology since way before COVID came around, because it's been very helpful with getting really precise, exact measurements, and also being able to send customers photos of what's going on top of their roof. A customer's not going to go on top of their roof, more than likely. And oftentimes we don't necessarily want them to. It's scary. It's dangerous. I've never done it. But with this drone, you get photos, and a lot of our customers at our roofing company have sent those drone photos in to get insurance claims. So that's just a little plug for anybody that's not using that technology, that it's been fantastic for us as far as that goes. And he has been setting virtual appointments. One of his guys is going out and doing the measurements with the drone. Typically, the people that we're talking to already have an idea of the color of shingle that they want. So they don't need to see it in person. So that's taken that away. We don't have folks coming into our showroom to look at roof samples at this point. And then contracts are being sent virtually as well. So we've been from prospect to close sale, absolutely zero personal face-to-face contact with customers. So highly recommend that. And the technology that he uses is a word that I've forgotten already. I sent it to everybody this morning because I said, guys, I'm going to forget the name of this. But I'm going to find it for this group. I can't believe this.
Love
It starts with
lovely.
yes.
Innovations.
Thank you.
Lovely. That's the drone.
That is the drone technology that does all the photographs. So if you actually go to their website, you can see what the technology does. And I will share my screen and just show everybody because it's really cool. If you're not using it, again, from a roofing perspective, it's pretty cool. So here's Loveland Innovations site where they show you, I mean, you can click around and play with it, but
I'm not seeing it. Are you sharing?
Yeah, I'm sharing.
Oh, maybe the people on YouTube can see it.
And maybe we just can't see it.
Maybe they can see it.
There.
Yeah. There we go. So you fly your drone around and it's
Cool.
moving awfully slowly, probably because we're trying to run this live on a YouTube, but fly your drone around and it's going to take measurements for you.
That brings up a really good question that we get, which people will ask, can you go all the way through the sales process virtually? And I will say, so for roofers, that seems to be in place. For windows, it's a little bit different. The one thing that I'm hearing does need to happen in person can mostly be done outside, and that's the final estimator who, before the order is placed, can actually go in person and measure the windows. So in those cases, people are often sending their customers whose homes they're about to visit, a kind of a waiver or a notice of health practices of the 6 foot recommended distance, and also a little survey. Have you had any symptoms? Have you had fever, cough? So those are some safety measures that make that final estimator visit possible during these times. And from there, install varies state by state what you can do. So you really have to follow those regulations. But the sales cycle is totally possible for both roofing and windows.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Did anybody have any comments we just got one. What are some best practices for conducting virtual appointments? So is this meaning how people are going to be sending out the links or how they're going to be doing it in the home?
I think, walking through that whole process, because you're often in Hatch, there's a baby, responding. Do you mind if I take this, Lauren?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think when you're using a tool like Hatch or email automation, whatever, you'll be converting kind of an automated marketing like conversation into a one-on-one with your customers that you can have in the Hatch platform from your phone, from a tablet, or from a computer. So when you're having those conversations, this is sales managers, sales reps, marketing people, all kinds of players are in Hatch these days having these conversations. You are either looking to rebook an appointment or book the first appointment or close the deal, find out if there's an objection and kind of renegotiate pricing. So virtual appointments come into play when you're trying to rebook or get to the first appointment. And only when you get to the point when the appointment's about to start do you need to share the link. It's always the same with a tool like Whereby. So mine is whereby.com/Lauren Hatch. It's top of mind. It sticks. Now the other Lauren can't use that one. Sorry, but that's unique to each person, and I can remember it easily. When Hatch has the Whereby integration, in one click you'll be able to insert the URL into the conversation. And then your customer receives the text message, clicks the link, and boom, your meeting starts. So I think it's just, have your conversations as normal, have your meeting link handy, and Hatch will make that even easier very soon. And then it's as simple as that.
Exactly. And people want that human connection. So you can't leave them in the dark. Just talk to them.
Yep. Okay, guys. So I think we have a good little show today on virtual appointments and digital tools for home improvement. Look forward to talking to you next week, and we'll let you know by email or in Hatch what the final time is for these each week. So stay tuned. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.